Okay, in our previous Mishnah, we learned, let's go back to our previous Mishnah. Okay, we learned about the distance that you had to have. If you had a Beit Rova, this was the last Mishnah. A Beit Sa'ah was 2,500 square amot, and if I took that Beit Sa'ah and divided it into 25, then each one was approximately, was 10 square amot. 10 times 25, yeah. About 10 square amot. And that's what we call a Beit Rova. The amount of this area, 10 square amot, 10 by 10, that it would take in order to plant amount of seeds that were a Rova Hakav, that were a quarter Hakav of Tvua, of grain. That's the measurement that Chazal used. Okay? So we learned that if I wanted to, according to the Chachamim, if I wanted to plant in one field square areas, I had to plant the Chachamim with a distance of a Beit Rova in between. I could plant a Beit Rova, and then have a Beit Rova in between. Plant, and have a Beit Rova in between. Now, what would be considered fallow? What if there were other things in this Beit Rova? Would that count or not? Says the Mishnah. Kol shehu b'toch Beit Rova. Anything inside the Beit Rova, ole b'midat Beit Rova, counts for the area of Beit Rova. So the Mishnah will elaborate. Achilat gefen, okay, the area consumed by a vine, I will explain. V'akever v'asela, or a grave, or a sela, a raised sela is a rock, like in a raised rock, or like a rocky area. Olin b'midat Beit Rova. These count for Beit Rova. So the point is, even though you can't plant in the area, they count for the area of Beit Rova. Let's zoom in a little. Okay. So for example, if there was a kever in here, so I couldn't plant anyway, nonetheless it counts for the spot. If there was a geffen, an area that was achilat geffen. Let me see if I can put a little shape here. Let's say I have my geffen here. Okay, I got my geffen here. So if I have my geffen in this area, as we're going to see, that it also consumes. There's an area for that geffen that the geffen itself has to fill. Okay, so even though the vine, well, let's do it this way. Microsoft Word isn't really the best for drawing. So even though the vine is over here, it's not in my Beit Rova. The area that the geffen consumes that I can't plant in also takes up space. Oh, that's in my Beit Rova, so maybe that doesn't count to separate between my Beit Rova here and there. The answer is yes, it does count. Okay, so the same would be true if I have a kever or if I have a rock, over there. I can't plant there anyway. Doesn't matter. Okay, all of those are Olim b'midah Beit Rova. They count for the Beit Rova. Now the Mishnah is going to turn to how far away must different plots be in between in a field if I want to separate between different types of species of plants. Says the Mishnah, Tvua b'tvua. If I separate between one type of grain and another, Beit Rova. I have to have a distance of Beit Rova. Okay, remember we said if I have one field of a Beit Rova is a square of 10 amot, approximately 10 amot, 10.2 amot by 10.2 amot. Okay, the Bartanura says if he is planting Zerua Chitin versus Zerua Baseorim, Tzarich laharchik Beit Rova. I have the difference of Beit Rova. Ubilvalich lo yichitin bekifinet Seorim. Now it brings up all kinds of interesting questions. Now the implication is if I have a distance of one Beit Rova, does it have to be a Beit Rova for the entire length of the field? Or as long as I have one area that Beit Rova separates, then they can get closer in other areas. And that happens to be a machloket. Yarak b'yarak. If I want to have vegetation, distance by vegetation, vegetables and vegetables, shishat tfachim. They have to be distance 6 tfachim apart. Tvua b'yarak, yarak b'tvua. If I want to put grain in a field of vegetables, or vegetables in a field of grain, Beit Rova. Then again, I have to separate the Beit Rova just like it was tvua b'tvua. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Eliezer says, yarak b'tvua, if I want to put vegetables in a tvua field, shishat tfachim. Then I only need a distance of 6 tfachim. The Bartanura explains that yarak b'tvua Beit Rova, he says, this is davka meruba. This is only if I'm planting squares. Remember, like we looked before, these are all squares. So I have to have a distance of Beit Rova. But if I want to do a shura shel yerek, shura shel yerek b'toch sadeh shel tvua, if I want to have in my field of grain, I want a shura, a row of vegetables. Oseh orech shura shel 10 amot umechza. I can make a row that's 10 amot, 10 and a half amot, a rochav shishat tvachim, only a width of shishat tvachim. So all I need is a row. I need to have a 10 amod long, but I need only 6 tfachim wide. Shechmiru b'meruba tfei b'shura, because the Chachamim were more strict about a square than a shura. Therefore, Rabbi Lezer says in Yerek b'tfua, if I wanted to plant vegetables in my grain field, shisha tfachim, all I need was 6 tfachim. Why? The Savar, Rabbi Lezer felt, lo machmerinan beruba tfei b'shura. Why should I be more machmir for my square vegetable field than I would with a row? But obviously, in halacha, Rabbi Eliezer, and in this case, tfu'a b'yarak b'tfu'a, you have to separate a beit rova. Okay, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. And we'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.